These are the two I don't think.
Vegetables too. They have it at every class. So it's covered. You just have
So you have to taste it. And then also jollof rice. Coconut jollof rice and jollof rice. Bob, what else do we have? No, you should be doing this. You should be announcing the food. Okay. All right. So I think we are all set. And Father Alphonsus is going to say the grace over the food. Thank you.
Let's stand for the prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord God, we are very joyful this night. We rejoice for your wonderful intervention in the life of Blessing. Her situation was one of loss of hope, but you gave us back that hope. You gave her back her life. So this night we rejoice and thank you for everyone you have brought together to make this night possible. We ask you, Lord, to bless these food items set before us. Nourish us in body and spirit through them, and continue to be with us, especially in moments of difficulties, to assure us you are always with us, to help us. We ask this through Christ, our Lord. Amen.
So I didn't cook them all, and no, I don't want to take credit for that. I don't want to get into trouble, okay? So, and Bob?
Did you warn them about the quiz, about the food at the end of the night? And the same thing with the back quadrant and the other quadrant. So there should be 4 buffet lines going at one time. So it should take maybe about 23 minutes to get everybody through, so please be patient. And we should let the priest and the nuns go first.
And also something I missed before, we also have fried plantains. It's not bananas, but they are from the same family, okay? So fried plantains.
Okay, we're making our move now. We look like creepy.
You know how good I was during church tonight because I didn't say a word.
We're creeping on you.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's the kind of where, you know, if you're having a festive mood, celebration kind of stuff, party, big party.
I love it.
Yeah, what it is.
Yeah? Now when would you wear something like that?
Huh?
When would you wear something like
Festive mood, yeah, festive mood, you know, big celebration.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like the king.
No.
Is that
I
your
am a king.
Yeah.
I don't say that aloud.
That'll be our secret.
I know. How are you? Good. Nice. From Mars? Yeah. I remember.
Hey, Mom, I got a brownie.
You said because you're in America, you have to do it that way.
Oh. It's going to be good? I like it. You didn't think I would like that.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
This is very spicy.
Yeah? I didn't try
But
that.
she's been telling us about this for months.
Yeah.
You know, the whole time she's been here, and And he's been teasing her, how can you scoop up soup with mashed potatoes, you know? She kept getting so frustrated trying to explain, Dad, you have to take a piece and you scoop it like this and you eat it like that.
That is interesting.
You know, it's,
Yeah. Well, very good.
The lady should come up.
Yeah.
We are going to begin our program of presentations. Just to let all the children know that there is games happening in the St. Mary Room and the narthex, so you should definitely go check those out. But our first presentation is going to be on the weather of Nigeria.
Temperature is quite pleasant in Nigeria and very different than Michigan. The average temperature is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. February and March are the warmest months with an average temperature of 91 degrees Fahrenheit. And August is the coolest month with a 70 degree Fahrenheit average.
Nice job. You see what I go through for being in Michigan?
Good to you.
So he doesn't mind hot, humid summers.
Our next presentation will be on the animals.
We need all of our animals up front, please. All of our animals can come up here so that the parents can see what kind of animals live in Nigeria. We have more animals than this. Where did they all go? They must have been frightened away by all of you. Oh, they're playing games. So we've got monkeys playing games in the other room. We've got Claire and Emma to tell us about Nigerian animals.
Over the last several decades, vast tracts of animal habitat have fallen victim to rapid population growth and the expansion of farmland. The widespread hunting of wildlife for food has also threatened the animal populations. Consequently, Nigeria's few remaining elephants, buffalo, lions, leopards, and other large game are generally found only in very remote areas or inside major reserves. Smaller animals such as antelope, monkeys, jackals, and hyenas are more widespread. Hippopotami and crocodiles, however, are still common in the largest rivers.
Government. 7.3 children in Nigeria do not go to school. 63% are girls. Illness and hunger are the common reasons children don't go to school. Some parents don't want to send their kids to school because they need the children to work to bring in money or help run the household. Lack of desire to go to school due to the poor quality of schooling. Run-down buildings. Some villages have no electricity, running water, or sanitation system. School staff not motivated. Lack of resources and curriculum.
Nigerians usually go to nursery school to learn the basics, and then they go to primary school, which is equivalent to our elementary school. Junior secondary and senior secondary is equivalent to our junior high and high schools, and this period is for 6 years. In the poorer villages, schooling ends with elementary level because they have no secondary schools, and it is it's too far away to send them. In Nigeria, school is year-round, through January all the way to December. Every 3 months, though, they get a month break. They have to wear uniforms, and the uniforms must be clean and ironed, which can be difficult for some of them if they don't have power generators. That's it.
My dissertation was about women education in Nigeria. and I went back home to do my research. So things are changing, and if you go to schools, actually you will find greater majority of females in schools than males today. Because most of the stuff we get on the internet, maybe outdated information, but there is an upsurge of women trying to get access to education today. And from my research, my conclusion actually, it will help to break the cycle, because from literature and previous research, once you educate a woman, you educate a community. It is so true. Okay? It is so true, because once you educate a woman, that woman will in turn educate her children. I interviewed 12 female professors in the university, and also interviewed 12 women who did not have access to education at all. So, and from the women who had access to education, most of them, actually all of them, made sure that all their children went and gained access to education. So that is why I said you find most women today teaching, doing stuff in the school, and likewise the number of girls who have access to education is more than boys, because usually boys go out to make quick money, business, gallivant, and the rest of it. So, anyway, and I think it is almost the same everywhere, relatively, if you know what I mean. That is so true. Yes, thank you.
Many Nigerians wear Western-style clothing. Nigerians in the rural areas have clothing unique to their area. This usually includes long robes. Men may wear long jackets with shorter long sleeves and shorter slacks. Women wear scarves tied on their heads like turbans.
That's how some women dress in Nigeria.
Guinea fowls, fish, shrimp, crab, and other seafood. These are normally roasted in chunks on skewers, also known as kebabs. Among the fruits and vegetables are oranges, bananas, pineapples, tangerines, carrots, watermelons, guava, melons, limes, grapefruits, mangoes, peppers, tomatoes, onions, peas, pumpkins, and apples. Their apples are not like an American apple. Theirs are smaller and pink and white.
A reddish-colored oil made from ground palm kernels is a popular cooking oil Nigerians use. Other staples in Nigerian diet are beans, sorghum, a type of grain, and brown rice. Soups and stews are common lunchtime foods and are eaten sometimes with hands cupped like a spoon. Favorite drinks are tea and coffee.
Thank you very much. Our next one will be on music.
Each Nigerian ethnic groups have their own music traditions. There are also many unique instruments such as the talking drum, the kakama, the small fiddle, the oja, a type of flute, and other instruments include bells, gourd rattles, xylophones, and violins.
Million people. Nigeria is the 8th most populous country in the world and the most populous country in Africa. Nigeria is home to more than 300 ethnic groups, with the biggest being the Hausa and Fulani, the Yoruba and the Igbo. The Hausa and Fulani people in northern Nigeria are traditionally nomadic cattle herders. The Yoruba in southwest Nigeria often have an honorary ruler called the Oba, who is treated with great respect. The Igbo live in the forested southeast, with most of the people living as farmers.
approximately 25 million Catholics in Nigeria. There are many religious orders in Nigeria. One of them is the Daughters of Charity, of the Most Precious Blood in Ikuduru. These nuns in eastern Nigeria. These nuns give refuge to the abandoned children that save many lives. The Adoration nuns in Kawara State have a life of contemplation, prayer, and adoration. They focus on the perpetual adoration of the Eucharist and encourage silence and penance. There are about 50 adoration sisters of the Blessed Sacrament.
While there is not a Nigerian-born saint yet, Father Tansy is well on his way to becoming the first. The Catholic faith, which was brought into Nigeria in 1860, is maturing and producing lasting fruits. Nigerian priest Father Kaipun Mitchell Iwan Tansy was beatified by Pope John Paul II on March 22, 1998. Father Tansy, born in 1903, went to school while the other children hoed and planted to support the household. He had 3 brothers and 1 sister. He was devoted to prayer even as a boy, and he spent long hours before the Blessed Sacrament. These encounters filled his heart with generous and courageous love for his people. He died on January 20th, 1964.
According to the Catholic Hierarchy.org, there are 52 Catholic dioceses in Nigeria with almost 4,000 priests as of 2004. St. Patrick is Nigerians' patron saint.
The Irish evangelized Nigeria. That's not a surprise that St. Patrick will be the patron saint of Nigeria. The Irish, they did a very fine job. You know, they came with the gospel and also with their Guinness. What they call reversal of fortune. Yes. Currently today, there are many Nigerian priests and religious re-evangelizing Ireland.
Wow, very interesting.
You know, they did a very fine job. They came for the gospel and they preached the gospel. So we are proud of the Irish. We are. And you know, their labors brought so many fruits. And of course, you experience that today. Even in the United States, there are so many Nigerian priests and nuns working in so many dioceses here. So, thank you.
Our next presentation will be on the major religions.
Muslims of the Islamic religion makes up 50% of the population, while Christians comprise 40%. Indigenous religions fill up the other 10%.
8.3% in 2009. Oil was first discovered in Nigeria in 1956, and it is the 12th largest producer in the world and the 8th largest exporter of oil.
I live in Detroit and I work there. I think the big difference has to do with culture. The African culture or the Nigerian culture, maybe because we are more family oriented, we live in a community, and because there is this sense of community, when we get into the church, the whole thing is carried into the church. So when you get into the church, our culture and the liturgy are both married together. So we are people who dance. We are people who laugh every time. We are people, even when we are going through a lot of difficulties, we still smile and pretend as if nothing is wrong. So when we get into the church, we try to establish that, relationship with God. And what do you get? A lot of dancing. A lot of, joy in the Mass. So sometimes, when I came in here newly and went for my first Mass, I was like, oh, is it done already? That was a Sunday Mass, and it ended within 45 minutes. I was like, because if I was in Nigeria, 45 minutes will be maybe just my homily for the Mass. Yeah, my preaching time. Yeah, my preaching time between 35 and 40 minutes when I was in Nigeria. But for the whole Mass to just, end after 45 minutes, my very first Sunday in Detroit, it was, oh, Father, is it done already? And he said, yes. I said, oh, I missed everything. So it has nothing to do with the authenticity of the celebration, no. It has more to do with the cultural difference. Our culture is more family-oriented and community-oriented, and we bring it into the church. And that's why in Nigeria, Sunday Mass, we go on for about 2 hours, and nobody complains. Nobody complains. When you get to Nigeria during the Christmas period, Nigerians here will testify to that. You do Mass for 4 hours during the Christmas season, and nobody is looking at his or her watch. Every person is happy. They keep on dancing. I think we will dance a little bit tonight and show you what it means to dance in Nigeria. Thank you.
Leonardo Gendo. Amai. Quadro. Tony Cano. Oh, Entonces family.